Okay, so I was having lunch with my fellow single moms here in San Cruz, and we thought of one really specific way that Mexico does not help out the single mom: the delivery system. Often when somebody's delivering something, but especially if we're talking about packages or delivering furniture, in Merida I had laundry being delivered all the time, they do not tell you the time they're going to deliver, and sometimes not even the day. There's this really strange assumption that somebody will be home all the time, no matter what. As a single mom, I'm the one doing the grocery shopping. I go out to meet friends. I go out and, do all the things. And so I'm not available. I'm not always sitting at home, although I am an introvert, so it's not entirely impossible for me. But generally speaking, I would really need to know what time you're coming so I can expect the delivery and be there for all the things. Now, I will say, if there's an app for it, for example, Chedraui delivery or Uber Eats delivery, those packages are a lot more predictable because there's a way to track them. For UPS delivery, I did know for sure that it was coming on that particular day, so I just had to stay home the entire day waiting for it. And because my house is a little bit tricky to find, when they got into the neighborhood, they did call me to confirm where my house actually was, which was nerve-wracking because, of course, everything in Spanish, but also really helpful because I then knew when they were going to get to my house. Now, in some cities, you can have your products delivered to, let's say, an Amazon box, or there are actually places that will let you deliver things to their location of business, and then at your convenience, you can go pick up the package. So it's never quite as dramatic as maybe it sounds, but at the end of the day, yeah, the mail system in Mexico, super stressful, and the package delivery system, equally stressful because you just never know quite when they're going to arrive, and making plans can get more difficult. Yeah, there's a lot of delivery system scenarios in which having a partner would really, really be helpful. So that would be one way that it's not quite as easy to be a single mom here. But if you are here, start making friends, whether it's with locals or other expats, or ideally a combination of both. Community is a really big deal here in Mexico. Okay, so how do we combat the situation where we need things delivered, but we don't necessarily want to be home all day, especially on a day that you can't handle being home all day because you're busy? One is, remember that locals tend to live in the moment. So if, for example, I want to purchase a table and I want somebody to deliver that table, there is a decent chance that the day I pay for the table is the day they're gonna want to deliver it. It might be even a situation where you pay for the table and they immediately want to follow you home to give you the table. Honestly, in most situations, even though you might have other things you would rather do immediately after purchasing, like let's say you had 3 other things you wanted to do before you went home, it might not be a bad idea to just let them take that delivery right now, because later might be a lot harder to schedule. You might want to consider making sure that you've got time in your schedule in general. So for example, there are seasons in life where we've just got lots of stuff going on. That would probably not be an ideal time to schedule any delivery because, well, you literally just don't have time for it. Or if the delivery of an item is really important to you, be prepared to kind of wipe out your schedule to make room for that delivery. It's something I had to do, especially when I was waiting for my lost debit cards to come. That was a priority, which meant that I opened up my schedule just in case. And while it's not my preferred method, this is part of why having a community is super helpful. Maybe if you're not able to open up your schedule, a friend can actually wait for that item for you. Or 2, it might be that you're not aware that there's other places that you can have stuff delivered, but having a community you can turn to means you can ask other people, has anybody tried getting their stuff delivered to a business instead of their home? So I wanted to give a couple, oh by the way comments. Oh by the way, this might be something that would make life as a parent a little more difficult. I don't think it's necessarily particular to single moms, however, but number 1 is Mexico can be loud. And while honestly this hasn't affected my family really at all, I imagine there could be sleeping baby moments where you don't necessarily appreciate the extra noise. That being said, my bet is that the noise will probably bother the parent more than the actual baby. I know when Alex was a baby, this is in the US, I was always pleasantly surprised that random loud noises, we once had construction happening near our home, just didn't seem to bother Alex. He could sleep right through it without issue. But if you happen to have a child that's more sensitive to noise, I could see where choosing your home carefully would make a lot of sense. And speaking of homes, this is something that Karen has had to deal with, which is not finding homes with the appropriate number of rooms. This might be more specific to, let's say, San Cris, where 1 or 2 bedroom homes are the norm, especially in city center. And so her current home, as well as the home she had prior to this one, they were both 2 bedroom homes, with Karen essentially sleeping in the living room. Kind of similar to what I do, except I have a 1 bedroom home with Alex getting the bedroom and myself sleeping in the living room. So the larger your family is, if you want every child to have their own room, this can get difficult, but not impossible. And last but not least, we do have service outages. There are times where the internet's not working for large areas of the city. There are times when the power goes out. There are times when gas runs out. And there are parts of San Cris that actually do run out of water kind of frequently. And so while these aren't necessarily single mom specific, I would say it does sometimes make life as a parent, or life in general, a little less convenient than, let's say, the US, which tends to be a little more consistent with all of these services. That being said, if you've ever had moments where you felt like your kid seems a little more entitled than usual, I don't necessarily mind Alex experiencing moments in life where he doesn't have internet or he doesn't have electricity. Again, these have been really short moments for us, but it takes these moments to sometimes realize how important something really is or how unimportant. Overall, Mexico is a win, even when the power goes out. Now, while this is one scenario in which being a single mom can be a little more difficult here in Mexico, here are 8 other reasons why Mexico is really, really supportive of single moms.